Hello, good morning, everyone.
Hey,
Hey, Harry, how are you doing?
I'm good, Lucas. How are you?
Good. Jumping around from project to project. Hi, Gabrielle, MJ. So everyone meet everyone. Uh, do you want to do just a 1 minute introduction where you're coming from?
Yes.
Yeah, just to so I don't have to get creative. I'm actually
Okay.
curious. Yeah.
So who start? So myself, I'm Gabriele from Italy, but I live in China at present since a few years. I am a mechanical engineer working in the chemical industry.
That's great. And you've been with Gimbalabs for a while, learning PBL.
Yes,
And
excellent course. Yeah, right. I just finished the basics of PVPL. Right.
yeah, so professionally, you're not working with Cardano?
No,
Okay, it's just curiosity and
no,
would.
I think in the future I will use it because I work in IoT
Mhm.
and I believe Cardano has a very good, powerful serialization functionality which can be used for IoT
Okay,
applications.
thank you so much. Um, Anyone?
Um,
Hi, it's MJ. I'm from Turkey. I'm a geneticist. I'm new to Cardano environment and I'm here to learn. Nice to meet you.
Great.
and hi, I'm Harry. And yeah, I've got funded proposals from Fund 7 and 8 and 9. And I tend to help businesses grow. So do fast growth. And we do quite a lot of techie businesses. And yeah, we've been in the space about a year, but I could still know a lot more about Cardano and the blockchain side because again, I'm sort of an engineer, but I'm not trained as a technical IT guy or systems guy or anything. But I do systems.
I can identify with I'm sort of an engineer and I like to go on both sides and help. Yeah, great stuff. I'm not sure.
Lucas, just a
Hey.
comment because you were asking if I work on Cardano. I don't work officially on Cardano, but I had with my small team from Brazil, we got funded for a project for crowdfunding DApp, and we are making a prototype with an Italian school just as a didactic way to show them the Cardano capacities and so forth. And we are just coming up with that. So it's a very small project.
Yeah.
So it's a hobby so far.
It's very, very interesting. Everyone's doing a little. Have you contacted with Directed from Oxford, from UK?
No.
Oh, maybe I'll send you a link for that later. Let me just make
Okay.
a note
Thank
here because it's a similar project and you may learn from each other.
Okay.
It actually was in the roots of this initiative when I started doing Cardano for non-tax. It was with some collaborators from Directed via Cardanox from Oxford that were articulating with Gimbalabs. So there's all these little communities articulate little in quotes. And also to Harry and what Gabrielle was saying, it's really interesting to see that some people like myself or MJ are just coming in saying we're finding out what we can do in Cardano, and then someone like Harry comes and says I've been funded, and that puts things in a different perspective where Catalyst helps us really set our roots in here and become a bit more not profitable but sustainable personally, and from there we can grow to more projects. So
yeah, I'd be interested in the link as well. I was going to talk to James about it because we have a little funded again, a bit like Gabrielle was saying. We have a little funded project in the Scouting for Girls category to take Cardano to Cambridge.
Okay.
So I'm chatting with Simon about it. But again, I know that you guys were doing stuff in Direct Ed, and it'd be useful perhaps to see if we could do that in Cambridge as well. So
Okay.
a link or a connection would be great. As I said, I saw James at the conference, but I haven't really talked to him about it.
Okay, so you're asking to be put also in contact with Simon, but I think you are in contact.
I've been working with Simon, we've been chatting about stuff.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure if that was the direct ed bit was him as well.
Yeah.
Or if you guys had put a course together for the
No,
Oxford
no.
guys. Okay.
No, I'm not with Cardanox. I was just collaborating with Cardanox on the Gimbalabs side. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure on what they are doing day to day. I know that they brought some learners for the Gimbalabs Plutus project-based learning. That's all. And yeah, I'm going to drop the simplest way for us to work together and collaborate is I'm going to drop this link for directed in our channel for the Cardano for non-techs in the Crypto Olympus server. And let's align there asynchronously if Gabrielle or Harry have any input. Okay.
Thank you.
Cheers. So I also want to welcome Boaz. And could you open your mic and say hi, just so we can get to know each other?
Yeah, hi. I'm Boaz from Goma, DRC. I'd like to learn more about Cardano for non-technical. Thank you.
Great stuff. I've been seeing Boaz in some Zoom calls, in some town halls, and it's great to finally see you in one of these calls so we can align our expectations and what we can do together.
I just shared the link to the DApp, very simple DApp for crowdfunding we just developed for the school. So we not for the school. Actually, the intention is to make something bigger, but as a start and debugging and so forth is there. So this is athenacrowdfunding.com. It was funded in Fund 8.
I made a note, and by the way, this gives me an opportunity to say I usually record these calls and do the playlists you saw on Linktree. So since we're talking about this in the video that will be going to YouTube, I'm going to put this link from Gabrielle on the description of the YouTube for anyone interested that might be listening to us. Okay. So about this initiative, and to introduce myself a bit, like I was saying to Harry, I've been working in IT for many years. I like to toggle between the technical and non-technical. When I fell into Cardano, into Gimbalabs, I went straight to Gimbalabs to learn the pure skills of building things. But I also felt the need to create this space for facilitating because I have some background as a trainer and I like to think I can speak non-techish. And so, yeah, I started this spontaneously and I wanted to grow organically. But in parallel, I am also starting my business or consultancy where I want to help developers market their products a bit more on the business development, doing a bit of technical product management because sometimes the clients don't know what they want, the developers can't express what they can build. And so I like to be toggling between both sides there as well. So yeah, so eventually I am going to try to bring Cardano for non-techs into the consultancy business I'm starting. I'm calling it 45B, alluding to the 45 billion of ADA that's ever going to exist. And yeah, so this is just a sort of a project, a pilot project for that to be involved in the three pillars of 45B will be learn about Cardano, manage it day to day, manage your assets. Even if you're in a company, manage it in your balance sheet, and we can try to bridge to partners on accountancy side and etc. And the build will be the third pillar, for which I am collaborating with Gimbalabs and with Mesh. I literally just press send on our first commercial proposal to build a tool for someone. And I hope that goes forward very, very nicely as well. Any questions? Okay, so focusing on our sessions here, I've done a first session, which is in the playlist. You can check that out later, but it basically introduces MJ and ADA to why Bitcoin, why Cardano, why crypto versus fiat. I think it's something that I didn't do in the previous cohort, and I think it's really interesting. And also what this previous session does is have a bit of Web3 use cases, because why crypto versus fiat is one question, or Bitcoin versus fiat, but why Web3 versus Web2 is a different one. And I also addressed that a bit. You're all familiar with these topics. One side note as well, I also added to the link tree a playlist of facilitators. So because I am trying that to have this project grow organically and have some learners become facilitators of other courses, we literally have 3 of them here. So MJ has some possibilities or plans to start a cohort in Turkish. Gabrielle considered the possibility of doing it in Italian, and Boaz has thought and mentioned to me to do it in French. So I'm really happy to see that from here I can share a bit the way of doing it, and yeah, if you could, if you're gonna find your own groups to share it, I'll be very, very happy. Okay. So in practical terms, what today's session is going to be is something that I've done a few times and it's starting to become automatic for me, which is to help MJ create her first ADA wallet on the testnet. I will invite everyone to keep up, and if you want to do it, that's great. If not, you can just please watch and help me with some input on any insight you may have on this.
Yeah. I don't know how long we got booked in, Lucas, but for today, I'd already got a meeting in. So I've got about half an hour or so, then I'm going to have to drop out.
It's
but I'll watch the rest of it on the vid. But I just felt it was important to say hi and get connected.
Of course, yeah.
Apologies, I'll have to. I'm in the middle of another session.
We won't be here that long, Harry. I usually do this. I didn't mention, but I usually do this in a free Zoom account. So it's literally 40 minutes. It starts. We do what we can do. If we can't have time, the counter starts counting. We say bye-bye. See you next week. Actually, with this cohort, we even decided to separate it into 2 sessions. So we're doing Tuesdays and Fridays with this group. And yeah, so it's really keeping it very practical.
I saw that bit and I booked it in for the Tuesdays and Fridays. So sorry to interrupt. But,
No, thanks. It's great insight because it gives me opportunity to explain the timings. Okay, so let's jump in. I'm going to share my screen. I won't spend much more time today around what documents we use and etc. So I'll just start using them as we go. I see that there's a lot of people here on the document already. That's great. I just want to say this is like the road that has been traveled by the first cohort, and I don't want to, I copied it for the Portuguese because I need to translate it, but for the English one, for now, let's try to keep on this document. And then if we have the need, we can start creating our parallel version. We can fork it as they do in blockchains, right? So I'm going to minimize this. This little routine here about creating our wallet is basically just a side note here. In terms of the motto of Cardano for non-techs, it would be that the teacher's challenge is to keep things practical from here on. And from your side, if I ever get too technical about something, or if I start rambling about something that's not that interesting, don't hesitate to open your mic and say, can we get back on the hands-on part? Okay. So also this reminds me of speaking a bit of the concept of being a non-technical user, but an agile user that can juggle windows, that is at ease with, for example, putting one window to the side, going to the other window and all that. So I will be asking you to do Control-C, Control-V, those types of things. And I hope it's something that you want to take on to become more agile as a non-technical user. So let's just do a flyover of today's practical part, for which we have like 25 minutes or something. So we're going to learn to create a browser profile on our Chrome. I have a number of them here already, and they're really interesting because they have different identities and you can have different browser extensions on them. So this one has just these wallets, and my personal one has a number of, I keep having the Zoom thing on top of it, has a number of extensions. So that's why we're going to create different profiles on Chrome, so we can isolate your experiments and don't confuse it with whenever you may have a real ADA wallet on your main identity. So that's this little part here. And this is more common sense. This is going to be useful as well for MJ to start her environment, and maybe Boaz as well. In terms of documents, there's this document. There's the playground sheet, which I will send to you. Actually, I'm going to just copy the link. I click there. So I'm going to send you this document on, you're on it already, so I don't need to send it on the chat, right? Everyone on document? Great. So, and then I'm also going to challenge you to use this type of yellow bit as a template to create a text file in your local machine. The first thing that I need to say here is that we're only doing this type of digital copy or note of our wallet details because it's just going to be a testnet wallet. It's going to be like poker chips on the testnet, doesn't have any real ADA value. It's just test ADA. So that's what we're going to do with this one. And then the practical part is literally just going to be install the browser extension for the Nami wallet, create a wallet within it, make a note of our passphrase, switch the wallet to testnet mode, and make a note of the address that we have on the testnet. Then we go to a faucet and we fund our wallet with test ADA, and we do some initial transfer between ourselves using the playground sheet. Okay, so speaking of which, I'm gonna copy it again and, oh, sorry, jumping ahead. So let's start by creating the browser profile, okay? I'm just gonna ask you to click there and go to add. Is that okay? So
No,
I'm gonna, yeah, I'm gonna add a number of them. Don't do sign in, you can just continue without an account, because if you did sign in, you would need to give it your Google account. That's not what we want at all. We just want to create a standalone identity. So I'm gonna say here it's cohort 2 of Cardano for non-techs. And select this color for it. Is everyone okay? Can I go forward?
No, I missed the first bit of how you got to your profile, sorry.
Okay, so you just click this little button there on the top. It should have any different icon there. And then from there, these are your profiles. I have a number of them. You may not have any, but there's the add button. Got it? So from there, I get to this interface where I just find a label for my Chrome profile and a color. Okay. I have a little glitch there. Okay, so now I have a completely beautiful PowerPuff identity for my Chrome. I'm going to minimize this one, and now I can come here and copy this and paste it in there. So I'm really going to suggest you, because you probably have your personal browser, I'm going to suggest that you come here, click this button to copy the link, because we want to open this one on this side. Maybe I can invite MJ to keep her mic open and just let me know with OKs as we go, so I don't keep waiting back.
Yeah, I created the new identity on my Chrome. Now I'm adding the document right now. No problem. No blockers.
Cool. So here, what we also want to do is to tick this little star so we can bookmark this document. Okay, I'm going to press done. And now continuing to initialize our new identity. If I were to open it, I have a favorite there that I can get to my document. So since we're landing on this one, I'm going to ask you to ignore mostly all the tabs, but focus on the non-technical learners tab. And this is
a question, Lucas.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm on page. I think because I couldn't follow the previous video, I can't find even these words you were asking
Okay.
us to copy paste.
Okay. So I'm gonna
I'm
drop
sorry.
the Google Doc in the chat. Oh, my MJ has dropped it in there.
Yeah. I have it, and
Mhm.
I don't know on which page we're. I was trying with the 40th, but it was not there.
So on this one, I just navigated to session 1, if that's your question, right?
No, the page where we're.
It's one page with
But
session 1, session 2.
in this document, you mean?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So on this one, if you just use the navigator on the left side to click session 1, it will bring you to this point.
Great.
I'm not really sure what the page is, but we usually use this navigator on the left side to just click the title. It brings you there. Got it? Can I go on? Maybe what we can do is I'm just going to go on because we just have like 15 minutes. I'm just going to go on with MJ and I'm going to publish this video. You can watch it asynchronously on your own time during the week until Friday. This is okay. Thank you so much. It's just because at least if we get it recorded, anyone can do it over the coming days. So I'm going to go on. So on this one, like I was saying, if we go to the non-technical learners sheet, we already have even Gabrielle here from previous cohort, and I'm going to invite you to drop your name in there. So this is going to be for me, Lucas, cohort 2.
Okay.
And I still don't see anyone on this document. Did you find a way to open it and add it to your favorites?
The first name is mine. I don't know if it should be there. Boaz. The first name.
No. You can do it, for example, on line 13, because this one was just the title. This is probably just names. Okay. So Boaz, you can come to line 13. This is sort of like signing up for things. Okay. And now what we're going to need is the Nami wallet, and I've put a link here. So I'm going to ask you to click it. It's exactly the same thing as if we had gone to Google and search for the Nami wallet. And
okay.
here
I
we
used Nami wallets before. I'm adding another one in my Chrome.
I don't think you can do that. That's why I ask you to create a different profile, because
yeah, I'm not using Chrome normally. I'm using Brave, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Well, Nami wallet doesn't allow you to have multiple wallets inside it. So you really need to create another container. I don't know if Brave has this type of thing to do the identities.
Yes, it has.
So that's what you need to do, because the extension works in the context of the browser. And if I were to go to my Nami wallet there, I already have an account in there, and I can only create different accounts, but it's really mixing things too much, MJ, because this one is on mainnet, right? And
what's your suggestion?
My suggestion is to create a profile.
Okay, I did it already.
Okay.
Everything works fine now.
Okay. So because you really need an empty wallet. What would happen here is that I would have conflicts between my mainnet address, my seed phrase for my mainnet address. So that's very tricky already. We don't want to be mixing. Like I said, we are just going to use a playful address, seed phrase, and not mix live and test. Okay, so on this one, what we need to do is add the extension, and it's going to be weird because as soon as we add it, it's going to show up there, and eventually if I close this, it disappears. So I need to click there and come and pin it so that it's always visible. And now I've completed installing the Nami wallet. And next step is to click on it. And as you see, it's completely empty. We can't, it's completely different to have one like this or the one that I had. When you're adding it, it's always adding it on top of the same account, and you can't have one on testnet or mainnet. So here we're going to do new wallet, and I accept. If you want, you can read the terms. It's warning us not to have to do this close to anyone that may be watching our screen, because on the next step, it's going to show me my seed phrase. So it has assigned a seed phrase for me. And this is going to be where my wallet gets generated from, my public address, I mean, and all those. And so this is the bit of content that I want to copy into a text file in my laptop. Because I'm not prepared with a text file, me personally, I'm going to use the document itself here. And what I'll do is just copy this from one tip to the other. And I'm going to drop it here. Okay.
When creating a mainnet account on any wallets, what is the best way to keep your phrase?
Write it down on a piece of paper. Write it down on a piece of little hard paper that you can save. You save it in a vault or inside the book, or you can write 2 copies to make sure you don't lose one of them. Don't carry them around in your backpack. You know, don't keep them in handbooks or something. And if we go to more high amounts of ADA, you'll want to buy a hardware wallet, for example, where it's always locked in there. But still, for the hardware wallet, you're going to need to have a fallback in paper, right? Because the hardware wallet can also be broken in terms of physically. You can smash it or something, right? So that's it. Now I've stored my seed phrase, and I'm going to say okay. I'm just going to speed up a bit because otherwise we won't have time for much more. And just so we can complete creating the wallet and funding it. So here it's a bit funny because the application told me, make note of this password, of these seed phrases. And on the next step, the application is telling me, prove to me that you made note of these and tell me back what is word 5. And I'm going to copy from here there. What is word 10? I'm going to copy it from here there. And then word 15 is going to be before the number because it's like that word number. I'm going to copy draft and put it there. And 20 north and put it there. Okay. Because we're short on time, I'm going to ask you to, if you can't keep up, just watch until the end. So I'm going to do next. And now it's asking me to label my wallet. So same way, I'm going to put here Lucas non-tech cohort 2 and drop this here. And for the password, I'm going to use this complicated thing that I have scribbled before. Just going to paste it here. Again, this is something that you would want to do on paper. Don't keep digital notes if it's a real thing in your computer, not for your password or for your seed phrase, for sure. And there we go. We successfully created our wallet. Now, it just disappears. But if I come here, it's not empty anymore. It's saying the label I gave to my wallet, it's saying I have 0 ADA and it's ready to send and receive. So at this instant, it's actually ready to run on the mainnet. So the first thing I want to do, because we don't want to work on the mainnet, is to come to the icon here and go to the settings, network, and switch this from mainnet to pre-production. Okay, it starts showing pre-production there. And when I come back, it's already showing me tADA for testADA there. And it still shows me always this. So yeah, it's completely different than my identity, my wallet, my seed phrase, everything is different. And now the next thing I want to do is update this little address that I have there, because it's the draft one I had. So I'm gonna go to the receive button and copy my receive address for this test wallet that I just created. So I press this little button, it says copied address, and I'm gonna come here, select the whole thing I had, and paste it in, okay? So now what I'm also gonna ask you to do is, the same way I still have it on my copy paste, I'm gonna paste it in here on my line, which is Lucas C2. I'm gonna do paste there so that anyone in the team, in our colleagues, can see what my public address is. Okay, just gonna propagate this here. And okay, now that we have created our address, created our wallet, we made note of everything. As you can see here, this one is the public part that I can share with someone that wants to send me testADA. This is the private part that I should keep always just for myself. And obviously I'm just recording this for YouTube and etc. because this is a seed phrase that I'm never going to use live anywhere. Okay. And now what do we have more in our menu for today? So we've done install Nami, create a wallet, make note of it, toggle to testnet, make note of the testnet address, which is there. And now we need to fund our wallet from the faucet. So for that, should be very simple. I'm again going to copy my address and I'm go here. If the real world was like this, life would be so much easier. You can just go here to the faucet and say, I want money. I want testADA. So I toggle it to pre-production. Keep in mind that by default, it's not showing pre-production. And I press Control V there to paste my wallet address. And I say that I am not a robot. So let me know if you have questions at this point. Not that maybe you're not doing it hands-on, but let me know if you're not understanding what I'm doing just by looking at it, okay? So now I still have the wallet here. I did the transaction. The faucet is telling me your transaction has been successful and test funds have been sent to this address. We have this transaction hash, which is something that I can, this is not necessarily for you to do, but it's something that I like to show you, that there's these public websites on the internet, not connected to anything that I'm doing locally on my computer. And it's really a Cardano Explorer. It's a block explorer that's always listening or reading everything that's happening. So I got to cexplorer.io. I scroll all the way down, toggle to pre-production, which is the network where I am working, the testnet pre-production. And if I paste in the identifier for the transaction, it's already showing me here, there's one server out of 8 that we need to, so that we can say that this transaction is assured and perpetuated in the blockchain. So it says that it's a transaction of 10,000 ADA. And if I continue to refresh it, this number is going to continue to go up. And let's check in my Nami wallet if it's already, yeah. So now I have this already. And, you know, so this was the fund your wallet from the faucet part. now we have test data that we can work with. So because we just have like 3 minutes, I'm going to very quickly come here. MJ, can you paste your wallet address in there? Or is it not handy for you?
I haven't
Okay.
did it, but I will. Okay, I'll
That's
do
fine.
it. It was like 2 minutes. I haven't passed the
Okay.
match verified seed phrase part.
Okay, sorry, never mind. Let's I'm just gonna send it to Gabriel here. He has an address. So I'm going to, okay, I have the one from Boaz. I'm gonna sign him up here. And there we go. So let's create a transfer. We have just a few minutes. I'm gonna do send to the address that Boaz pasted to me on the chat. I'm going to send them this much testADA with a message saying hello. This little bit of text is actually going to go on the blockchain. So now it's asking me for my password, which I defined here earlier. And I'm just going to do Control-C. Oops, this is weird. When the wallet, when I lose focus of this window, this happens. So I need to click it again. And it persisted. It still has what I was doing. And now I can actually paste in my password. Okay, so my transaction was submitted to the blockchain. You'll see that it's not 1 second instant because it takes a bit for exactly the same way that our first transaction, let me just close these, the same way that our first transaction from the faucet is still being assured. The second transaction that I now did for me to Boaz is still going to take a bit. So yeah, now it's like that. And if we go to the transaction details, I can even jump from here to the block explorer to see how it's doing, which in this case, it's still not even showing on the querying for this block explorer. Okay. I'm sorry if I just had to condense a bit this part. I invite you to take a look at the video and let me know if you have any feedback for now. You just have a minute or a little more to say goodbyes.
I will try other wallets that you are using, because I have Nami and I'm using it in the databases.
Yeah, one thing that we will be doing is to get this seed phrase into other wallets as well on the course. So I'm looking at Eternal a lot, Flint. I recommend it a bit. So if you want to go ahead and experiment, it's just to say that then you're going to be repeating it on our sessions, but it's fine. Okay. Now I just crossed my mind. Since we're going to do 2 sessions a week, it really puts you in a good position to grow your knowledge so that you can start your course and maybe do yours once a week. Okay. Any thoughts, guys? Any other thoughts?
Thank you, Lucas. Thank you for teaching some.
That was lovely. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you, Lucas.
See you on Friday. And keep in touch on the chat if you have any messages or any questions. Okay.
Brilliant.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.